about 5 minutes left until qualifying here. So I want to welcome you ahead of time though to the to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have Throwback Night with the Area 51 Racing Series at Darlington for 100 laps. So we got right now we have 26 drivers entered in the race, and as I'm sure you've seen from the practice shots here, it's going to be a handful for these guys. So I have a feeling that keeping that car underneath you and saving those fast repairs is going to be critical here this evening to be able to have a good finish tonight. So we'll get things rolling here. We'll go over the standings when they start qualifying here in just a little bit. And then we will also, of course, make sure we're going to have time to go through all of these wonderful paint schemes that these drivers put out tonight. You got some definitely throwbacks, a few, I'm not going to guess as to which throwbacks are which on some of these. I'm not up to par on some of these, unfortunately. However, a lot of really nice looking schemes. Always fun to see these guys put this on. So I'll be with you here in just a moment once we get qualifying underway. So we'll talk again soon. All right, looks like qualifying is just beginning here at Darlington. Again, so I want to thank you all for joining me with Green White Checkered TV tonight. We have the Area 51 Racing League Cup Series Throwback Night at Darlington for 100 laps. Say before we get into that though, let's go over our point standings entering this race. Say we are on race number 7 of 12 in the segment. Or actually, I'm sorry, race number 8 of 12 in the segment. There was a bit of a mix-up, unfortunately, with the when they ran that North Wilkesboro race with the track's not actually available in the standings, so they weren't able to get the results posted to it. So I think the admins are working on trying to figure out how they're going to sort that out. However, as you can see, as things stand, at least in the point standings, let's say subject to change and all that, right now you have Ryan Kelly leading the points just by 2 points over Larry Yingling. Levi Cox in third, David Adamson in fourth, Jack Walls rounding out the top 5, actually tied for the 4th place with David Adamson. As say you can see with some of those results there, Larry Yingling with the 3 wins over in the 6 starts, Levi Cox with 2 wins, and then Chad Wilkes with 1. And saying while Ryan Kelly hasn't got a win yet in his 6 starts, he's had top 5s in 5 of those 6 laps, or sorry, 5 of those 6 races, I should say. And also he's tied for completing the most laps of the races with 589. Which is also right there with David Adamson and Maxwell Caldwell. It kind of just shows how the making sure you're there at the end of the race, how critical that is for being up there in the points. But yeah, so like I said, we're definitely going to go through all the paint schemes this evening. As I got a lot of really good ones tonight, so looking forward to showing them all with you. Let's say some of them, of course, I think maybe got from trading paint. Some of them you can definitely tell the drivers did them themselves. But yeah, so I've always enjoyed doing the throwback series stuff just because of how good. I don't know. I'm always biased towards I feel like the throwback cars. I just liked how simple the paint schemes were and they just worked. So I'll say we're about halfway through qualifying here. Right now we've got 8 of the 26, I believe it was, drivers have taken a lap. So say I'll step away for just a moment, and then once we get closer to the start here, we'll go over our Regal Cinemas Pole Award winner. Again, say Regal Cinemas is offering a $10 either iRacing credit or PayPal for the winner, or sorry, for the pole winner, I should say, which right now at the moment is the number 85 of Brandon Clark. So we'll have to see if any of those other drivers that are still to make a lap are going to be able to knock that number off the board there. So I'll say we'll rejoin you all here in just a moment. All right, so it looks like um, qualifying is winding down. Looks like it's going to be the number 14 of Levi Cox, able to get the pole here by 0.04 of a second over second place Brandon Clark. So let's go ahead and pull Levi in here for a quick interview. So grab that number 14, Levi Cox, able to get the pole award this evening. I'll say obviously it's kind of in your mindset right now.
Yeah, I could barely hear you. I got a little bit of it. Thanks to Regal for the $10. Um, but we'll see how the race goes tonight.
I'll say appreciate the heads up on the mics. I'm going to try to adjust a little bit better there. So I've got another one coming in the mail. Hopefully that'll help things out. Say any game plan for the race tonight?
All right, ask that again. I'm muted. They're talking over driver channel.
I was just asking if you had any game plans for the evening tonight to be able to try to bring it home in first place at the end of it.
Well, it's gonna depend on if we get long runs or short runs, but hopefully we can get some long runs tonight. It's a pretty difficult track to get that done, but if so, then just save tire and keep it out of the wall, and should have a pretty good chance here. You have a good broadcast.
Thank you very much. And that was our pole sitter. So let's go through the grid here. And then starting in 7th, you have the 8th place, the 64 of John Mullins. And then rounding out the top 10, E. Cox. And then the 28 of Charles Johnson. So that is our top 10. I'll say we'll let the rest of them cycle through here so you can see where your favorite driver is starting this evening. Say we're gonna get here going. Again, here at Harrington Racing, they go on the green flag, and there are 3 attempts at green, white, checkered finish. So I'll say we're going to get things underway here with that 14 of Levi Cox and the 85 of Brandon Clark here taking the green. Good start there off the box there for the 14. Going to go ahead and get the lead here. 13 Brian Kelly going to follow him through. Now saying this is going to be the trick now is to try to get single file as quickly as possible. You can see it a little further back. They're definitely making sure they give a lot of room here. Looks like everybody's pretty much singled out there. Yeah, you see a lot of drivers that are just pretty much just moving over, make sure they get a clean entry into the turns here. So now it's going to be just racing this racetrack, which is always a challenge in itself. Looks like the 1, the 071, the 35, and the 007 are all leaving the pits right now. So actually Leader's going to have a little bit of traffic to deal with right off the bat here because they're going to be coming through turns 1 and 2. And they're going to be catching the back of that 007 of David Adams. So you can see there as is the 35 of Art Peck. As you can see, though David's going to drop to the bottom to stay out of the way. Looks like actually Art's going to try to do something. Gets a little bit though. So those guys are going to go a lap down here early. But again, 100 lap race, definitely a lot of time for things to happen. As say for a track, for things to happen, it's easy to do, and it looks like it already has started. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be with that 35 of Art Peck who was involved. So let's go take a look, see what happened to him on that, getting up to speed there. So you see he was running on the inside here. So we saw where he caught that apron just a little bit, or not the apron, just the banking. So he works on, oh, he started getting on the throttle just a little too hard, and then just wound up overcorrecting it, but able to lock it down, not involved anybody else. A few cars just squeaked by. Actually, oh, as I say that, I was jumped the gun there. So they got hit from the back. So let's go ahead and see which driver that was, because unfortunately, say just nowhere for him to go. Didn't catch us. I think it was a Red Bull car. Oh, I think that was Jack Walls in the 83. It looks, yeah, it was. Just, I say he just was up the groove. Say Jack just nowhere to go. Catches that right rear of the 35. A lot of damage to that 83 car. It's going to probably force him to take. Well, actually, as I say that, now it shows the car okay again. So I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see if he actually does have damage on the 83 car. Maybe he's able to escape damage on that one. So pit road is open, so you can see a lot of drivers are in the pits. I think we'll see the 007 able to get his lap back right off the bat here, so that's going to put David Adamson back on the lead lap. However, it will keep Art Peck here trapped one lap down. And I'll say we'll wait and see here. Look for that 007 car. I see him starting to move up the field here. And there he goes around the top, going to get that lap back. So while under yellow, let's go start going through some of these paint schemes here. So start off with our pole sitter and race leader, Levi Cox. Got the Mountain Dew Code Red paint scheme. So not sure if it's a throwback per se, but I'll say it's a good looking paint scheme. I don't even know if Mountain Dew makes Code Red anymore. So I know that was a favorite of mine as when I was in my teenage years back in the day. Making myself feel old. In the second spot there, you have Ryan Kelly with the STP13. I'll say obviously definitely one of the petty cars there. Really, I always love that petty blue color. Really nice one there. And then right behind him, you have Brandon Clark in the 85. And I want to say that is, actually, no, what is this? I think this was a paint scheme that was run recently, say a Barstool, I believe it was. So it looks like a bit of a co-sponsorship on that car. I can't remember if I've seen that paint scheme somewhere. Not sure if maybe it's De Benedetto or someone like that may have run it before, or I might just be making things up. I'm not sure. In the fourth position, we have the 67 of Larry Yingling. He's got the Lowline sponsorship on that car. Really good looking paint scheme there. I'm saying obviously there's no mixing up that car behind him in that 17 of Chad Wilkes. That Valvoline paint scheme Mark Martin used to run. So that's probably one of the more iconic ones. I say he's got a few others that are very popular, but I say that's definitely one of the main ones that are associated with him in that 6 car. Right behind him, you have the 64 of John Mullins. So you got Canterbury as the sponsor there. So I'm not sure if that's a new paint scheme. I can't remember offhand. Saying behind him, they got the 76 of Jim Brooks running that throwback Budweiser paint scheme there. Try to see if I could help him with the paint scheme. Didn't have enough time, so he had to go with one. But I say really good looking paint scheme on that car as well. I say just again my bias, but I say this simple color just and design just they work so well. 8th position, you have Cody Cox in the 9 car. So it looks like this one is his own custom paint scheme. I say I can't quite catch all of them, or all of the paint scheme there, but it's another good looking one. It's kind of a, not really a flat black or gloss black, but actually looks like it's a, I can tell which, it was something music there, so apologies if I can't make it out there. So we're on the 1 to go here, so let's grab the 9th and 10th real quick here, and that's Charles Johnson in the Area 51 sponsored car. However, so you can see also pretty common throwback paint scheme on that one too. I say almost looks like the Great Ghost layout to me. And of course, on the very top next to him is, I believe that's actually Eric Laurie in the 071. However, tonight, as I say, I catch a little bit. Sorry, Eric. 33 Skull Bandit car. So that's obviously another one that that's an easy one to remember. So that's always the Harry Gant paint schemes where I remember that one from. So we'll see if we can catch some of the remaining guys today. So we'll remember to start off with the 70 and 94 next time we get the opportunity. However, we're going to get back going here. Green this time by. And it looks like Art Peck is still in the pits, the rest of the field. So 27 cars on the lead lap. Got a few of them trying to hurry up and catch it. Feels like topped off on that 1 to go. However, say wait for that green flag to fly. It's going to put it back into the hands of Levi Cox and Ryan Kelly now on the outside. We'll see what kind of restart that 13 is able to get. Say tires spin shouldn't be too big of an issue yet. They haven't got too long in this run, so I don't think that'll be a concern at this point. But concern is going to be getting single file here. Turns 1 and 2, and then 2, 3, 4. So you can see right now that 1385 side by side here for that second spot. Looks like Brandon Clark's going to take the spot. It's going to open the door here for Larry England. Let's see if we can make that inside happen in the 67. I'll say it's one of the things, a shorter way around, but the momentum is really towards the top side. You can see there Ryan Kelly able to hang onto that third spot, and now so you get 17 and 67 here fighting for that fourth position. And right now it looks like 17 Chad Wilkes able to get around there. So they're going to come up on the 35. Looks like he just got out of the pits there. Saying that was Art Peck that's back on the track right now. Right now showing 4 laps down. So right now looks like most of the field here is pretty single files. It's definitely getting a little tighter further back there. It looked like I saw Charles Johnson right in a battle there with that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. Oh, they say that. Oh, you see, they got both of them got a little bit tight off too, on loose as well. So caution is out. So that was Eric Laurie that went around there. Unfortunately, on that one. Let's go ahead and jump over back to the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. Let's take a look, see how that all unfolded there. All right, so you can see right here. So he's already out of the groove there. You can see 94 get loose, and it's just one of those things where just try to give room and saying just threw his car off, unfortunately, and saying that just sent him to the inside wall. Hard hit there is going to send him back up across the track to the outside wall. Don't think damage will be too bad for the 94 car. So it looked like Eric Laurie went ahead and took a tow. So it looks like the motor blew on that hit. So it was a really tough hit, unfortunately. So say pit stops have begun. Say leaders are actually in the pits as well. So let's jump over here. So I'm going to see a little bit of mixed bag of strategy here. Looks like Larry Yingling, Charles Johnson, Michael Spell are going to stay out. Leaders are in here, so we'll take a look at their pit stops. And I'll say we'll let these guys sort everything out here in just a moment. Looks like for the most part we had looks like mostly 4 tire stops. See the 007 David Abson, I think he may have taken fuel only, so we're going to have these things shaken up a little bit here. So say we'll jump over to our race leader. So I see Larry Yingling now be shown as the race leader, so I'm going to put Michael Spell here in the 88 in the 3rd position. So he's moved up from the 24th starting spot over using some pit strategy there. The 101 of Mark Rubilis there in the 4th position. It looks like from Levi Cox in 5th on back, those drivers all made pit stops here. So now let's see if we can catch, who have we not caught there? We didn't get the 70 of Cody Cox, so there's that number 70 paint scheme there. Say Rumpel. Not familiar with that one, unfortunately. We'll say right behind him. Definitely familiar with that 39 Ray Bestis car Mitchell Wilkes is running. Say it's always a good paint scheme there. And then also right behind him, Roy Wheeler running that Bojangles car. So just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm biased with these paint schemes. They just work. Right behind him, you got the 45 of Paul Patterson. Let's switch through here. Try to get a better angle of it. Oh, there you go. So just a simple with the engine spec and everything on there. That was always a fun one to see. And so you've got Gabe Butler in the Folgers car. Say another one of those. So I'm not sure if that's the Mark Martin paint scheme. I would say that's another one of those that Mark Martin drove with that Folgers paint scheme. So you got a Tony Stewart Home Depot paint scheme behind. Could be a Logano one as well, but we'll definitely go with Stewart because he's the one that made that Home Depot car very well known. Let's see who's right behind. I think that's Robert Richards. It is, and number 12 Copenhagen. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I want to say that might be an AJ Foyt paint scheme on that one. That's a good. That's not one I've seen in a while. It's a good looking car there. And right behind him in the 48, we have James Ledford in the Pepsi Challenger Camaro. In this case, then we have the 83 there of Jack Walls in the Red Bull. So that's definitely not throwback, but I remember when Red Bull was in NASCAR. And so then rounding out the top 20 here, we have David Adamson in the 007. However, we are on the 1 to green, so let's get back up front to our race leader, Larry Yingling. So he's gone. He has not pitted this so far this race. It's only been about 14 laps with 2 cautions here, so not a lot of wear on his tires. However, I'll say Darlington is definitely an abrasive track though. So and then 3 behind him, the 20 and the 80 and the 101. Good on the first yellow, but not the second yellow. So they've got about 10 laps or so older tires than those around them. So green flag is back in here. They have to be real careful for tire spin. So you can see, I think they definitely took it easy there because there's a little bit of a stack up there behind the 88 there and the 101 able to get through. So now they're going to have to try to be careful here to make sure they don't get into one another trying to get through. Because again, this is where they talk about racing the racetrack and not racing each other. As Brendan Clark has a moment there coming off of 2, so he's going to tag the inside wall. Gets it pointed straight. It's actually not going to bring a yellow out. Some drivers are slowing down for one. However, I say we do stay green. I think he's able to keep it low enough, so he's going to come into the pits here, I'm sure, and try to get one of those faster pairs right off the bat, because that car is unfortunately hurting pretty bad there. So we'll jump back up front here. Larry Yingling's about a half a second here and right now ahead of Bud Steele. Now the battles for that 3rd spot with the 88. Just the south one around the backstretch. Looks like we're okay though. I'll say right now Michael Spell has his hands full. Like Cox trying to see if he can use those fresh tires to get around him. Can't quite do it. So that's bringing now. You got the 13 Ryan Kelly, 17 and Chad Wilkes. So say Ryan Kelly gets the momentum. He's going to send it there into turn 1, able to get clear of the 14. And so now it's going to be up to Ryan Kelly to see if he can make a charge on the 88. But as I say that, the 14 gets another run here. Looks like he decided to stay in line though. But I say so right now it is showing that it is still difficult passing with older tires. Michael Spell doing a good job right now of holding onto that 3rd position again with the slight tire deficit. But as I say that, it looks like Ryan Kelly gave him a little bit of a shot as they enter turn 1. So everybody's able to gather back up there, but these guys can see they're starting to stack up here and get pretty aggressive already. So you have to remember it's early in the race. It's going to take it inside, see if he can make it work. But as I said, he's going to catch the corner of the 88, go put him in the wall. Looks like they're going to get away with it just barely. So they definitely cost that 88 a bunch of track position. So he's going to have some damage on the 88 car to that right side. So probably not too bad. I'll say for Darlington Centers, that car probably is going to definitely be tight, but I think he'll be, in the grand scheme of things, in decent shape though still. So Brandon Clark is back out on track after having to make that green flag pit stop when he caught the inside wall there. He's showing 2 laps down right now. Actually, the first car that is a lap down though, so should, if and when a caution does come back out, he should be in alright shape. As I say that, contact between the 9 and the 88. Oh, the 88 looks like he kind of gave him a shot back, and then he's going to catch. Oh my goodness. Oh, was say more cars involved here. So I think a little bit of tempers may have flared on that one. I say that 88 got used up enough from the get-go, and I think that was just maybe a little bit of frustration boiling over. So I'm just speculating, obviously, so I don't know what's going on behind these with these drivers. So take it for what you will on that, but we'll see what happened here as the 9 is entering turn 1. So you can see the 88 actually, I'll say 9. I don't know. I feel like the 88 didn't give the 9 a lot of room on entry there. So you see the 88 catch the outside wall there, and as soon as he bounces off the wall, then he kind of comes back down across the right rear of that 9 car. That sends the 9 up into the wall, and then say that gets the then the 88 gets loose again, catches the 85 car. And so that then moves him, unfortunately, up into able to hang on to it. Actually, it's a good save there by Brandon Clark. However, that may cost him a lucky dog. And say, and then you see here comes the cars around, trying to find a way around. So you can see that 39 Mitchell Wilkes just catches him pretty solid there. May have been able to get one of those magical Phantom 4Xs. We'll have to wait and see to not be involved in there. And actually, there's a car further up there. Looks like he also had some issues. I don't know if that's that's the 35 Art Peck. He was also had a separate incident there. I also see the 94 with a fair bit of damage to his car. So let's go and see what happened to that 94. He's coming into the turn here. Oh, he's gonna catch. Oh, he's probably gonna catch the 9 car. I'm guessing here. Let's wait and see. Yeah, here comes the 9 across the track, just right into the path of that 94. Nothing he could do. And so it just pulls the whole front end basically off of that 94 car, unfortunately. And so you see the 70 and 76 just able to sneak by there. And I say 39's trying to follow through here, but he's going to have a door full, unfortunately, of that 88 there, right there. So yeah, it's going to be the end of the evening for a couple, maybe not end of evening, but definitely some fast repairs, I should say, for a couple drivers pretty early on here. I'll say, so with the caution back out, so we're going to see where everything's cycling through here. So it looks like I mentioned, unfortunately, 85 did not get his lap back in that incident due to being involved. However, and you can see that right rear damage, however, he was able to get in front of the leaders with their pit stops there, which, let's say, as we're going through all that, the whole field made pit stops under that yellow. So that's going to, what you're going to see here is the 85 is going to take a wave around here on the 1 to go and get back onto the lead lap. And that'll put him 1 lap down, and so he'll be in contention for that lucky dog with Cody Cox and Eric Laurie, and also, of course, Brandon Clark. Those will be the 3 fighting for that lucky dog position. Right now, it looks like Michael Spell is showing 2 laps down, still in the pits. Looks like Donald Stewart has retired with that 78 machine. And then Art Peck is showing 4 laps down, saying he saw the damage he had too, so I think he's probably out of fast repairs there. Alright, so there's been a lot going on here to start off the race. Let's go ahead and try to see who we've missed. I don't think we've checked out Bud Steele's car under yellow here. So you can see that number 6 car right there. They got the Marty Robbins yellow and I guess you call that purple, I'm not sure. Car there. Right behind him is Kyle Hess in the 86. Got the Wrangler paint scheme. Obviously, that's a very well-known paint scheme on that car. And saying we are on the 1 to go, so we'll try to catch a couple of these guys entering the pits here. You got the 80 of Diego Vasquez in the Miller Genuine draft car. So definitely, I associate that. So you can see the discount tire on it. This says Brad Keselowski throwback car. So it's obviously Rusty Wallace made that one. Very well known there. So say, however, let's jump back up to the front here. So say we're going to have Larry Yingling, Levi Cox, Ryan Kelly, Chad Wilkes will be the top 4 here. Let's say that pit strategy actually worked out really well for Larry, able to get to the front now with that caution. He was able to hang on to the lead before the yellow happened. So that's going to now put those in the top 4. Larry started in the 5th position and is now in the lead. Another driver who's made a pretty good start here is Charles Johnson. Started 10th and is currently in the 6th spot. So as we come around through 3 and 4, so the pace car duck off here. It's going to put it into the hands of that 67 and the 14. And let's see what they're able to do here. Say we are on lap, we're going to start here actually at the line. We're going to be on lap 25 of 100. So we're going to be just at about a quarter distance here at Darlington. So the green flag is back in the air. Pretty even start there for the 67 14. So again, now the trick's going to be trying to get these guys kind of singled out here, because again, it's just so difficult to run double wide through at this track. So the best place to pass is on the straightaways. As I say, that's where give and take comes so important there. Say 14 though, you can see, try to definitely make sure you can get that top side to work. He's going to get back into the 2nd spot there. Put Ryan Kelly in 3rd, already right on the back bumper. That's 67 Larry Yingling as they go through turns 3 and 4. He's all over the back bumper, just doesn't have enough of a run to make him move. So I think right now he's just trying to put the pressure on Larry here. See if he can force him into a mistake, but at the same time though, I feel like when you kind of start pressuring somebody too much, you kind of wind up losing your own focus, and that usually will hurt you as well. So I say Levi's going to have to kind of have that balancing his field progression versus patience, let's say, racing the track, and of course these other drivers. So they saw got a little loose off before, able to hang on to it. So they didn't lose much position there at all on the track. So he's going to still hang on to the second position as they go through turns 1 and 2. So you can see through the field here, pretty strung out there. Looks like Jim Brooks right now is in the 8th spot. Right now, those guys are all single file. We've got a pretty good gap there to the next car, which is Chad Wilkes in the 9th position. Sorry, Mitchell Wilkes in the 9th position. Chad Wilkes is in the 4th position. But you see these top 3 right now are just all nose to tail as they enter turn 1 again here, coming around. They were keeping an eye on these guys. I say right now, everybody's doing a pretty good job here going at it. I say trying to keep an eye and see. I say right now, this is pretty much the closest battle for position. You see that 17 right now is all over the back now. The 13 of Ryan Kelly. He's going to see if he can make something happen, try to get into that 3rd position. So these guys, obviously, they've pretty much all been showing speed all season long. So I believe these are actually the top 3 or 4, I want to say, in the points as well. So yeah, right now this is pretty much where they've been running most of the season. I was saying we talked about Ryan Kelly hasn't had a win yet. However, he's had top 5s in all but one of his races so far. And I'm saying again right now, sitting in that 3rd position to look to continue that trend. Further back, it looks like now we've got a little bit of a battle with Maxwell Caldwell and Charles Johnson. You see Maxwell able to use one of those faster pairs, so he's back on the charge here. Going to try to chase down that number 28 here. So he was able to get by John Mullins that last time by, so now he's going to work from going from 7th to 6th, now to 5th. So he hasn't got there yet, but he's definitely got some pretty good pace in that car as well. We've seen throughout the season. A little further back here through the field, so it looks like Mitchell Wilkes, Roy Wheeler in a pretty decent battle right now. You see that 39 car and the 98 there right behind each other. Running right now, they're running in the 9th and 10th positions here. See also good little battle there. Say there, you can see kind of the different grooves you can really run at Darlington, especially 3 and 4 is pretty much the main one where the line's changing. You can see right here, the 98 gets a good run entering turn 1. Able to always see 39 catches the outside wall there. Is able to keep it pointed straight. I say that's actually really tough to do. Is once you catch the walls, not to kind of just let it throw you off the wall. Say 007 got loose off of 2, able to hang on to it. So you can see already these tires are starting to show their wear with these drivers. So it's already becoming a handful for a few of these guys in this race. So we'll jump back over to that 28 car for that fight here for the 5th position. Maxwell's still trying to make a charge on him. I say some of the leaders now are actually working on lap traffic now as well. So you can see, 70 gets a little bit loose running that really bottom line there. Able to keep it straight. So he's able to keep out of the way and keep it going. So good job there for him hanging on to it. However, while I was showing all that stuff, Levi Cox has gotten around Larry Yingling there. And saying now he's in the lead here. Say Larry not too far at all behind. And say, however, they've kind of stretched it out here. As I said, caution is out. Looks like the 28 was involved, as was the 94. So that's again the front end missing on that 94 car. So that's going to be another fast repair. And fortunately for him, wait for that track to clear. Just going to see what happens. They're going to be guessing here. They got together off of 2, and that looks exactly like what we're going to see here. You see as they're coming through too, you see that 94 trying to make the inside work here, try to get underneath that 28. And so I'm wondering if it's going to be a similar deal, or the 28 may have just ran out of track there, trying to give a little bit of room to that 94. It looks, you can see he's heading up towards the wall. Yeah, I say just catches the wall there off of 2, and that's going to send him into that 94. And then both of them straight down to that inside wall, unfortunately. And so that's where the 94 is going to catch the wall, pull the front end of that car off, unfortunately, as well. And saying, looks like Charles was able to luck out there, not catch the wall as hard as the 94. However, still a pretty good shot there. I'm not sure if he'll need a faster pair or not on that one. We'll have to kind of wait and see. I'll say, oh, 94 big hit afterwards. I'll say spun that thing around like a top basically. So I'll say we're gonna jump back over here. Say we're gonna see pit stops again. I'll say I don't think we're gonna see any strategy on this one. Everybody's gonna be taking 4 tires and fuel. Looks like the 85 of Brandon Clark here is back on the lead lap. So you can see some damage to that car from earlier incidents. So he's gonna see about getting some of that repaired after he is able to make his pit stop in that number 85 car. And it looks like we're definitely going to have some pit strategy here for some of these drivers that were caught a lap down. It's looking like right now the 70 of Timothy Wright, I believe the 071 of Eric Laurie, Cody Cox. Looks like they're all going to try to get a lap back here on the wave around. I think Michael Spell might be in this group as well. He is, as is the 35 of Art Peck. So yeah, I think we're going to see some strategy here, try to get some wave arounds. Actually, as I say that, Eric Laurie is in the pit, so he's going to actually make his pit stop here, which will keep him 1 lap down, it looks like. Alright, so with all this going on, let's try to see if we can catch who we have remaining of our paint schemes. So I don't think we've caught the 44 of Dwight Plesh yet, so you got that Terry Labonte Cornflake scheme. I'll say that's obviously a very well-known paint scheme, especially from those couple Bristol races with him and Dale Earnhardt going at it. That's always been a really good paint scheme I've always enjoyed seeing as well. Let's see, who have we missed here? I don't know if we've actually caught Eric Laurie's. Oh yeah, we did actually catch that one. 88, 70. What about Art Peck? What was he running here? I say it looks like this is just his own custom paint scheme there on that 35 car. So I think we may have gotten all the paint schemes tonight that say, hopefully I haven't missed any. If I have, I apologize. So I'm going to keep keeping an eye poke around through the fields here. But I'll say, looking at the names and numbers, I think we may have gotten them all. And I was able to do it within the first half of the race. So I'll take that for what it's worth. I'll say, and then from here we can focus on the racing. I'll say, obviously still plenty of good-looking paint schemes that we'll be able to still keep an eye on that as the race goes on. But yeah, so I'll say with that pit stop cycle here, it's going to put Levi Cox is going to hang on to the lead, Larry Yingling second, Ryan Kelly third. John Mullen's able to move up into the 4th position through the pit stop cycle there. Chad Wilkes will be in 5th, Jim Brooks in 6th, Jack Wall 7th, Roy Wheeler in 8th, Gabe Butler in 9th, and David Adamson will round out the top 10. So we've completed 38 of 100 laps. So we're going to restart here with 62 laps to go at Darlington. So a reminder here that they do go on green on the starts and the restarts. And then, of course, there are the up to 3, I should say, green-white checkers and 2 faster pairs should they need them. Again, at a track like Darlington, you're going to need them. So it's definitely a hard track to race by yourself, much less with 27 other drivers in the field. So say it's definitely a hard track to race at. A lot of fun to race at, but not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Pace car is off. Put it back into the hands of the 67 and the 14 here. And we'll see again how aggressive they can be to try to hold on to that track position to start, and then from there being able to try to then be able to just kind of protect from there. You can see that bottom line really formed well there. They were all able to get around that 64 car, John Mullins. That's going to put him back to 5th. And then they say again right here, you can see they all single out as fast as they can. So you got Levi Cox, Larry Yingling, Brian Kelly, and Chad Wilkes are the top 4. Right behind them is the 5th place car of John Mullins now. Chad Wilkes, he's going to look to the inside. Brian Kelly can't quite make it happen there. He's going to have to hang on to that 4th spot for the moment. But again, you can see again just how quickly the field spreads out single clouds. It's just how you have to race Darlington. Really the best way to try to make these passes is to get a good exit, get underneath them, and then really just hope that they kind of give and just roll out of the gas there and let you by. So actually I think we saw a perfect example of that right here. Well, maybe not perfect, but close to a perfect example there. Jim Brooks got a good run off the exit there on that number 83 of Jack Walls, and then was able to hang on to, able to get that position. Jack looked like he lifted a little bit early, let him get around there. And so yeah, so that's going to now move Jim Brooks up into the 6th position, move Jack Walls to 7th, and right behind them is Roy Wheeler in the 8th spot. Actually, pretty much a little gaggle right behind him here. You can see we got Jack Walls there, Roy Wheeler, David Adamson, Gabe Butler. I say Brandon Clark's already back up there, as is Maxwell Caldwell. So you can see these guys are already dicing it up right off the bat here. Try and get back after things here. Say Brandon Clark just gets his lot back and say he's already fighting for the top 10. See a little bit of a moment there. I saw Ryan Kelly trying to make a, or sorry, not Ryan Kelly. Maxwell Caldwell trying to get past this. I think he probably saw a little bit of deja vu. Looked like the car was getting up towards the wall. Looks like he was able to get away with it without getting any damage to that car. I'm sure that made him nervous there. Coming back to the front here, as you can see right now, Ryan Kelly able to get around Larry Ewing. However, you can see Larry is not planning on laying over for him. He's going to see if he can make another charge back here and try to get that 2nd spot back. Right now, though, Ryan Kelly moves up into 2nd, right behind our race leader and pole sitter Levi Cox. As it moves Larry Ewing back to 3rd, Chad Wilkes 4th, John Mullins in 5th. It's like Roy Wheeler was able, and actually Brandon Clark, both able to get around Jack Walls. That's going to move Roy Wheeler into 7th, Brandon Clark into 8th, and then move Jack Walls down into the 9th position. But yeah, that 2nd group is definitely where, so there's a good battle here and saying right around that group with, again, with that 85 of Brandon Clark, Jack Walls. So it's a really good battle. So as I say that, Brandon Clark's able to get around Roy Wheeler. Maxwell Caldwell's moving up as well. It's going to put Maxwell now into the top 10. Brandon Clark now into the 7th position. So really good run for these guys. To say they're starting to try to regroup from their incidents. Unfortunately, didn't recover well. So really good job by those guys to do what they've been doing here and get back at it. But right now, Levi Cox is about a half a second lead. To say he's not safe by any means, but I mean it's definitely nice to not have that pressure like Ryan Kelly's got right now. With that 67 and 17 just right on your rear bumper here. So it's going to hop on board here with that 67 car. Let's see what these guys are able to do here. They're trying to take a lap here with their Ewing as they go through the start finish line here. So you're going to see them kind of take it early entry here and then let it wash up, and they have to kind of cut it back down again for the exit of 3. And then saying you want to bring it all the way to the wall. You can see bring it all the way back down here. I was just seeing one there on the bottom. It's like no yellow able to get by of 48 James Ledford. Entering 3, looks like they're running the top side here. Right, you see that 14 just almost scraped the wall. So right now it looks like Larry's kind of running that lower line through 3 and 4 at the moment. I'm sure if that's where the fast line is, we're going to see that change. So that's where it progresses. You see a little bit loose there to make a correction. And another thing to be careful with that, with the line you're making there is you can get too low off of turn 2, because if you catch the flat there, it's going to really push you right up into that wall off of turn 2. That's really where you can get in a lot of trouble as well, even by yourself. So again, you can see Larry's just all over that back up of 13. Can't really make a move yet, but he's trying to do everything he can at the moment. So it looks like, unfortunately, David Adamson is in the pits as well, as was the 48 James Ledford. To say again, I think they have some incidents on that run there. But right now, it looks like things are starting to spread out a little bit. So we also have a good battle here with Maxwell Caldwell. He's starting to work on the 98 of Roy Wheeler. So you can see just ahead of him is Brandon Clark. Who's able to get around him a little earlier. Looks like the 6 of Charles Johnson is in the pits as well. So say I don't think these are scheduled pit stops right now. I think this is Darlington starting to make her mark. So you see 94 able to get around. Say we are at the halfway mark there. You can see Roy Wheeler just go ahead and just let that 94 car go. It's going to move Maxwell now into the 8th spot, move Roy Wheeler back to 9th. Let's say, so now I think one of the things to keep an eye on is going to be lap times. Let's say as things are starting to spread out just a little bit, not much by any means, especially you can see right here up front. As you see a little bit of a wall scrub for some of those guys there. It looked like actually the 13 and the 67 may have caught it just a little bit. It doesn't look like it's too bad by any means here. That's definitely a little bit of damage though to the right side of those cars. You can see a little crumple on the right front fender for Larry. Let's say, but it's pretty common here. So as I say that though, looks like 17 is going to make a run underneath. That's going to move him up into the third spot, move Roy Wheeler back, or sorry, Larry Yingling back to fourth. So they make some names people were talking about earlier. I'm saying right now, the leaders are in some pretty decent lap traffic right now. I say Levi was able to get around one driver. Now he's going to work on Michael Spell, trying to find the way again. He's got to time it right and be careful doing it too. You don't want to do it too soon. You see the 88 runs really low there. It's going to wash him up, catches the outside wall, able to keep it against the wall. As I said, actually drops back to the inside there. So I'm sure that was definitely a moment for the leaders, able to get around it. Okay, as I say that, it's a good contact there between the 88 and the 33. So they got around it okay as well. But yeah, right now though, it's pretty dicey right now. You can tell just with the different tires and just probably car condition really. These guys are kind of having their work cut out for them. I'm gonna say, you see right now the 17 started to close in on that 13 now. Say lap time wise, that last time by Maxwell Caldwell was actually the fastest car in track. I think partially due to that the lap traffic, because he was half a second faster than pretty much the rest of the field there. I say here comes that 17. He's going to take a look, entering one, able to make it clear. So I think the 13 rolled out up a little bit, let him get that spot. So that's again probably the easiest way to make that happen without losing time. However, this is bringing John Mullins in that 64. He's coming back into the fray. He's going to take a look. Nope, not this time. So he's starting to make a charge as well here, running some pretty good lap time for these guys in front. Say they kind of checked out early, but now he's starting to regroup and catch back up to this group here. So that last time by, I believe he was the quickest car on track as well. And as I said, and actually Roy Wheeler in the 98 was, as I said, there's some big moves here going on. So I think some of these guys are kind of getting just caught in the wrong spot at the wrong time with some of the traffic here. That's Darlington to a T, honestly. That's how it is. If you catch them in the wrong place, wrong time, it really hurts your lap times here. So you have to be patiently aggressive. Is the best way I can describe it. Because obviously, if you are too easy, it's just going to make it even that much harder for you to get around those cars around you. But at the same time, if you're too aggressive, you're going to either get yourself or them involved in an incident. So now, unfortunately, that 17, though, Chad Wilkes is going to have to try to do it all over again. See if he can get a good run here off of turn 4. See if he can make a charge on Ryan Kelly. He's at his door. He's at his bumper. He's going to take a look. We'll see if Ryan lifts again. This time, Ryan's going to hold on to. Oh, you see one down the. There's smoking there. Is the 35 of Art Peck. No caution. As I'd say that contact between the 13 and the 101. They're able to get around him. You see a lot of momentum loss for Ryan Kelly, probably a little bit of damage as well. So to move John Mullins now up into the 3rd position with all that going on. Move Chad Wilkes now up into 2nd. And move, unfortunately, Ryan Kelly, that drops him back to the 4th position. However, that could have been a lot worse than it was there for that 13 car. A little bit of nose damage. I don't think it'll hurt him too much at this point in the race, but I'd say definitely something he's going to have to think about though as the run goes on here. However, say with all this craziness going on up front, Levi Cox is pretty much checked out here. He's got about a 2-second lead over Chad Wilkes right now in that 17 car. I'd say the field's starting to really spread out right now, and I think you're kind of seeing a little bit of mixed strategy on tires and fuel, and of course just the way these cars are driving at the moment. So say they've done about 25 laps on the run, and I'm sure for these drivers it feels like they've gone already 100 laps on their tires, because you can just tell these guys are all having their hands full. So right now we still are showing 17 drivers on the lead lap. I'll say it looks like, he's not too far from getting to a couple of those. So I'd say we're going to be starting to cut that number down a little bit more, it looks like, as we progress here. So it looks like, unfortunately, the 35 Art Peck has retired from the race. That's going to leave 26 cars on the lead, or in the race. And say, like I said, 16 on the lead lap right now. You saw that 44. That's actually going to now put it to 15 on the lead lap, as he's able to get by the 44 of Dwight Pledge. He said Dwight just kind of moved out of the way, let him go there. Nice move by him. As is the 9 of Cody Cox. I say Cody's on a much older tire, so he took a wave around, tried to get back on the lead lap, and Just hasn't got the yellow that he's been hoping for. So I'm going to go back over to this fight for the second, third position because these guys are all over the place right now. You can see they're trying to weave their way here through the lap traffic. I'll say John Mullins right now still in the third position. He's starting to get a little bit of pressure from Larry Yingling right behind him. Chad Wilkes has been able to sneak out just a little bit, but I say in the distance there right behind him though, here comes Brandon Clark. He's now moved up into the top 5, moved Ryan Kelly now back to 6th. So this car, the 85, has definitely been on the move here once he's gotten it going. As I said, caution is out. Trying to catch where it is. Looks like it involved the 12. Yeah, it's like 12 of Robert Richards was involved. Let's go ahead and see what happened to him here. So we'll take a look here as I go through turn 2. Oh, you see, just got too high, tries to catch it. So it slides through the inside, that's going to send him back up the track. And that's where he winds up looping it around. So hopefully, actually does a really good job getting back going again here. So you see like some of the drivers catching back up to him. I say so. I think there's going to be a lot of happy drivers about that yellow, to be honest here. So say we're going to get going or get things squared away here. Again, move back up to our race leader here in that 14. As they trying to figure out who needs to be where there. A little bit of a close call there for that race leader, Cody Cox. He's going to hit the pit road. So he's going to have, since he had some lappers between himself and those around him, he's going to have a little bit of a gap you can see right there between him and second place Chad Wilkes here. So that's going to help him for pretty much a no pressure pit stop, I feel like, as long as he just hits his marks, then gets back going again. He should be able to easily hold on to the lead here. Again, you're not going to see any pit strategy here, 2 tires. It's all going to be 4 tires. 4 tires fill up with fuel and probably can make it the rest of the way on fuel. However, tires is a whole different story, and I don't think we're going to see, if a yellow comes out, we're going to see a lot of tires still being used as this race progresses. See all the lead cars here making their pit stops. Looks like, I believe the 9 of Cody Cox is going to get the lucky dog and get his lap back in that 9 car. See right there, the 14 is able to easily hold onto the lead through those pit stops. Looks like Chad Wilkes is going to come out in 2nd. John Mullins in 3rd. Larry Yingling in the 4th position there, I believe. Yes, it is. And then in 5th is Brandon Clark. Do a quick that happen here. But then here comes all the lap cars making their pit stops. And then trying to see, looks like a few drivers. Let's see here. Okay, there's the 80 coming around right now. So there's 101, I believe it was. So it looks like we got a couple drivers. Looks like they're going to try to take the wave around here. Looks like the 007, the 101, the 28, and the 48. These 4 are going to try to take wave rounds here. That's going to put them, I believe, 1 lap down for the most part. It's going to put Mark Robillas actually back on the lead lap. However, it's going to have the 007, this will put him to be 2 laps down. The 48 will be 1 lap down, and the 28 will be 1 lap down after this wave round here. So the one that's going to be definitely struggling though is going to be that 101 of Mark Robillas. So say he's got 30 laps on his tires on that 101 car, and you can see the damage on it as well. So it is not going to drive well here. I think he's going to have to hope for a quick yellow to get him back on cycle here. So we'll have to kind of wait and see if that comes into play. So it's say 1 to go here. They're going to come around the pace car. It's going to line things up again for our race leader, Levi Cox. Chad Wilkes 2nd. Levi Cox first, Chad Wilkes 2nd. John Mullins in 3rd. Larry Yingling 4th. Brandon Clark in 5th. And Jim Brooks in the 6th position. So right now, yeah, I'd say definitely the biggest move of the race right now is that 98 of Roy Wheeler. So he started in the 27th position. He's currently running 8th in that 98 Bojangles car, so it's a good run for him so far. So he's still got 34 to go, 33 when they cross the start-finish line, so I'll be 2/3 distance done. Saying, well, I'm gonna guess aggression's gonna pick up a little bit here. But however, again, 33 laps at Darlington is pretty much an eternity for some of these drivers. Again, just with how difficult this track is to run. So we'll have to see how aggressive these guys are, or if they realize there's still plenty of time for things to happen here. Now our pace car is off. Going to put it back into the hands of the 14-17. Going to wait for that green flag to fly. And again, we're going to see how these guys are able to restart and see what they're able to do on the track position and try to get themselves doubled up here. But really even start there between that 14 and 17. So we'll have to see who's going to, if anybody, I should say, is going to give entering turn 1. Looks like 17 is going to roll out of it just a little bit. Now his goal is going to be to try to make sure he can clear that 64, which he does. As I say, that 64 gets a little bit loose off of 2, keeps it straight though. However, so you can see all that momentum as these guys are going to try to charge on through here on that top side. So Brandon Clark's going to have to be careful, make sure he doesn't there. Once again, it's so difficult with these cars. Again, you see him a little bit loose off of turn 4. So yeah, I was going to say he's going to squeeze up here right in front of that 94 there of Maxwell Caldwell. So that's going to move Maxwell, though. He was able to get a good start there. He's up into the 6th position. Jim Brooks right behind him in 7th. You see this front pack, though, they've all done a really good job of kind of stringing themselves out here and just going single file to get things going on this restart. See, actually, pretty much the whole field here is kind of single file. As I say, here comes the 85. He's going to make a move entering turn 1, jump around the 67 Larry in that lean. That's going to move Brandon Clark into the 3rd position. Again, he started in the 2nd spot, just had some incidents earlier on, which unfortunately messed up his race for him. But right now, able to make a good charge. Charging he is doing. So he's got right to that back bumper of that 17 entering turn 3. So I said, I don't think he's done yet. I think he wants to get some more track position, see if he can make a charge on that 14 Levi Cox, because it looks like he's got a lot of pace in that 85 car. So again, as it comes into, gets a run, just don't know if it's going to be enough. He's going to keep his nose, he's going to send it in there. See if he's able to make it stick. So 17 is going to have the momentum. And you can see right there, just, as 17 actually, you can see how aggressive he was being on exit there. He got pretty loose on the throttle there. However, right behind there, you saw Maxwell Caldwell. He's making a move now, trying to get underneath and around the 64 of John Mullins. Side by side, this is not where you want him to go 2x2 here. So you see that he's able to keep it off of him and then prevent him from getting loose as well. It's a really good driving by them. He's going to send it here into turn 3. Side by side, I saw the same thing there just in front of him as well. They're still going side by side. Really good battle. He's going to fall back in line there. However, while that was going on up front there with the 85, was trying to make another move on that 17. Couldn't quite get there. So right now we got 2 really good battles here for position. As I say, you see the 85 just pushing Chad Wilkes on the backstretch there, probably letting them know like, hey, I want to get by here. But again, we're within 30 to go. I say, it's still a long ways to go, but at the same time, as he gets really tight off of 4, I think he really wants to try to get to the front here and try to maybe control this race. As I said, the caution is out. Looks like, unfortunately, it may have involved the 6 of Bud Steele. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that involved Bud Steele because he is upside down there. Let's see what happened. It looks like, you can see already, you can see he's out of the groove there. It's just getting too high off of turn number 2. I think he's going to catch the wall here and it's just going to probably just send him down to the inside. So actually not too hard of a hit. So I think it's just enough to really throw the balance of the car off, though. Unfortunately, that's going to send him straight into the inside wall here. So you can see just a pretty big head of steam as well, unfortunately. Yeah, so he catches that inside wall and just flings the car up in the air and up on its lid, unfortunately, there for the number 6 of Bud Steele. So it looks like he took a tow back to the pit. So gonna guess it didn't wind up getting back on its tires, or probably just unfortunately popped the motor for him. However, the one bonus for some of these guys is that it only was a 1-car incident. It appears, so we'll speed this up here. Actually was able to keep it going there. I think just decided to take a tow, not to cause any further trouble. However, pit stops are underway here, so let's jump over to our leaders. So I don't think we're going to see much pit strategy. I see one driver, which he's by himself. There's Ryan Kelly. He's going to now be up front here. I'm not sure if maybe he just wanted to lead a lap. I'm not sure in that 13 car, but he stayed out, so we'll have to see if he decides to stay with that strategy. So now it's up for these guys to hit their marks, and I think we're going to see again 4 tires, maybe some fuel. Not sure. Say if it's loose, it might be actually good to not fill it up with fuel just to help out the balance of the car. So we'll have to wait and see there. However, it's going to keep the 14 out in front of this group that pitted. 17 will come out second. I'm not sure who got it there between the 85 and the 64. It looked like it was a pretty close exit between the two of them. And then I believe the way around may have gone to the 80, I think, of Diego Vasquez. I'm showing him as being back on the lead lap here. So let's kind of wait and see on that one. So right now we have 17 cars on the lead lap, and then I am showing 3 cars 1 lap down, and then we have, I believe, 4 cars 2 laps down, and then 2 cars 3 laps down as they run right now. So we'll keep an eye up front. Looks like Ryan Kelly's going to be risking the pit strategy here. He's going to try to stay out, use this track position. And say the other thing that he's doing, which I'm sure that 007 and the 9 are not happy about though, is that's going to keep them trapped a lap down here and not be able to get one of those free wave arounds on the one to go. So unfortunately they're going to have to fall back to the back of the group here and then restart. So they might have to think about trying to maybe still take a pit stop here if they're able to. With iRacing, if you don't pit under the first couple yellows or first lap or 2 of yellow, it closes it on the one to go. So we'll have to wait and see if that's an option for them or not. Especially for David Adamson, he's sitting on 28 lap old tires right now. So if that car can get in the pits, that's definitely going to be in his best interest. So our top 4 on this restart are going to be right now Ryan Kelly on about 10 lap old tires, Levi Cox, Chad Wilkes, Brandon Clark all on brand new 4 tires. Saying there was no tire strategy on this one other than that 13 car. Everybody took 4 tires, no 2 tire stops here. And then right now it looks like John Mullins will be 5th, Larry Yingling in 6th, Maxwell Caldwell 7th, and Jim Brooks will round out the 8th spot. And then you have Jack Walls, Gabe Butler round out the top 10. Are on the one to go. And yeah, sure enough, 007 has made a pit stop here. David Adamson. So that was definitely not something he was going to want to do there. Try to run with the 30 lap old nearly tires with everybody else on pretty much brand new tires here. So, so let's say they're going to double up here. We're going to restart with 22 laps to go, and we're going to see what these guys are able to do on this next restart. Alright, so we say we're coming through 3 and 4 here as we're going to get going one more time at Darlington. You can see everybody starting to close up and each other get ready for this restart. Again, they go on the green flag here. So see what these guys are able to do. So again, you're going to see the aggression pick up that a little bit more as they're going to restart with 22 to go. However, everybody's going to want to try to get to that front spot here and of course try to gain a few spots here if they can on these restarts. Green flag's back in here. So you're going to see how the 13 does on these older tires. Able to get through the gears pretty well so far. So I think you're going to see a lot of give though 1 and 2. And as I say that actually, 14 gives him a little bit of space. We can see right here he's going to stay to his door. See 13 is a little bit loose. I saw a little bit of looks like they're able to keep it straight here. So saying right now the 14 is going to have that top side and the momentum, but however he's seeing 13 right now, 85 Brandon Clark. So that's going to move Levi Cox back to the lead. Brandon Clark now up to 2nd, which moves Ryan Kelly to 3rd. Chad Wilkes right behind him in 4th, and Larry Yingling in the top 5. So right now that 85's got what he wants. He wanted to try to get that track position and see what he can make happen here. So he's going to try to make a charge. I believe what these new tires say, we're going to be coming around here for 20 to go. 45. Say he was fighting that 17 car pretty hard earlier before that caution. As I say, that caution is back out here. So I'm not sure where. I think it may have involved the 9 car, maybe the 28 as well. Let's go back and take a look. So coming through 3 and 4 here. I can see the 70 is getting a little loose, and so here comes the 9. Oh, looks like 9 just gets a shot there, unfortunately, from James Ledford in the 40. It's going to send the 9 around. So see if Charles Johnson, Eric Laurie, say Eric Laurie gets into the back. Saying that's just, yeah, kind of, unfortunately, kind of an accordion effect to say with the way this track is. That's pretty much the groove is a very small area here. So so that's where the incident was. And saying then these guys trying to get back going again here. Just say get back on track. So we'll have to see where the who's able to get the free pass on this one. Say it would have been the 9, I believe. However, since he was involved in it, it will not go to him. It's actually the 48. James Ledford was in the position, as was Charles Johnson. So beneficiary of that may be the 45 of Paul Patterson. Again, because even if you were the first car 1 lap down, if you were involved in the incident, which the 48 and the 28 were, then you are not able to be, you're not eligible for the Lucky Dog. So yeah, here comes that 45 around. So that's going to put Paul Patterson here back on the lead lap, which is going to now give us 18 cars on the lead lap as he comes around the leaders here. And then there was not much on the form of pit stops under that yellow there. It's a pretty short run, so I didn't expect to see too many people stopping there. So say it's going to keep the 14 out in front here with the 85 to his side. Drivers that did pit under that yellow though include Gabe Butler, Kyle Hess, Roy Wheeler, and Dwight Plesh. So I'm also showing Mitchell Wilkes in the pits. I say he's actually coming out now. He had a pretty long pit stop, so I'm guessing there's some damage repaired to be done to that 39 machine. I'll say we'll take a look. It's like maybe a little, I don't know, it looks pretty clean to me here. So it's coming around a little bit of right front damage, possibly. So as a whole, that car looks in pretty good shape there for, especially on the right side for being Darlington. So I'll say, however, he's gonna stay on the lead lap there in that 39 car. And so say right now, still got, I believe, 2 to go. So we'll step away for a moment and say not too much pit strategy happening right now. And we'll get things back on here on the 1 to go. Alright, we are on the 1 to go here, so coming through turns 1 and 2. So once again, going to put it into the hands of our pole sitter, Levi Cox. Second place is Brandon Clark now, so he's got the clean air that he's going to be wanting here. So we're going to see how aggressive he can be on this restart so he can try to get himself to the front. Say with 16 to go once they cross the start finish line here. So we'll have to see how this one's able to go for these guys. Say pretty much right now, for the most part, actually, yeah, I'd say the top 8 right now, actually top 9 all qualified within the top 9 positions. So just kind of shows you how important qualifying was, and also just the guys that were able to put down fast laps in qualifying are also still the ones that are running up front here. So All right, so let's see what the 85 and 14 are able to do. Green flags back in the air. You see a little bit of a wiggle from the two of them. Pretty even start to got a nose ahead for sure to that 14 here as they enter turn one. So you can see squeezes them up just a teeny bit there. So I think it's going to be just enough for him to make him clear here. So now the fight's going to be back for that second spot with the 13 and the 85. So as I say that, the 13 got a really good restart there. However, I think they're slightly overtired. There's nothing you can do with it. So Chad Wilkes able to sneak by Ryan Kelly now for the third position as well. So move Chad Wilkes up into third. So now he's already working all over the back of that 85 Brandon Clark. So right now you've got the leaders Levi Cox, Brandon Clark second, and then Chad Wilkes in third. So as we come through here, Ryan Kelly still in fourth, Larry Yingling rounding out the top five. And so you can see all those guys are right in each other here. Going to cross the line here with 14 laps to go for that number 14 car. So his goal for sure is going to try to keep that 85 at bay. I'm pretty sure you're going to see aggression start to pick up a little bit. So while they're fighting here, let's go ahead and ride on board with that 85 car and see him try to chase down our race leader. Slow down these cars, but 1 and 2 you can see they're just sending it right now. It's going to come around here with 12 laps remaining. A little bit of a run there off of 2 is not going to be enough to make a charge here, but as he's starting to get that little bit closer, probably just trying to keep a little bit more pressure on that 14 car. Brandon Clark is doing a really good job right now, trying to put the pressure on. He's either coming up on a lap car. I think it's Bud Steele. I don't suspect to see him. So I think it's going to duck off here. So, as I said, actually, big moment there. So actually, that's going to change things up a bunch there. As you can see, that 14 had to go to the inside of Bud. And that's going to actually, I actually guessed wrong, I apologize, but that's going to put Brandon Clark here in the lead, able to take advantage of that situation there and jump in front. So it's going to be out to put Brandon Clark in the lead. Levi Cox now in second place, 10 laps to go. So now you're going to have that 14. Now he's going to go on the aggressive, kind of on the aggressive side of here, try to see if he can kind of grab that spot back. And right now, though, still at the 17 and 13 still sitting third and fourth. Really good job by Ryan Kelly being able to hang on to these guys with 10 lap older tires. And so now we got the shoe on the other foot. Let's do the same thing here. Let's ride on board with that 14 car and see what he's able to do here. See if he's able to make a charge on that number 85 with Brandon Clark as he goes into turn 1 2. Exit there off of 3 and 4. See if he's going to try to make a look. Really close there. He's seeing does he get the entry he needs there. So probably a little bit of defense there by the 85 as well. So he's trying to make the run here. And right now that Levi Cox is all over the back of that 85 Brandon Clark. I say Brandon right now just can't make any mistakes. Otherwise that 14 is going to pounce on him. I'm sure he wants to get that spot back after how he lost it. Great run off of turn 4 there. He's going to get a run to the inside. You're not going to see any lifting here. They're going to both dive it off into turn 1. 85 just nicks the wall a little bit on entry. That's going to put the lead back into the 14's hands. Levi Cox back out in front. So now you're going to see that 17 all over the back there of the 85 as they go through the backstretch. Going to send it in here on the inside. Can't quite make it happen there. So coming around here with 6 laps to go here at Darlington. Really awesome fight for the lead between the 85 and the 14, kind of going back and forth there. 14 able to grab the lead spot back again. Oops, final car there. All right, so 85 is going to make another charge here. So he's starting to close back in again on that 14 here. So we'll see if he's able to do anything with them right now. Say, got 5 to go this time by. Got 5 laps remaining here. So as they go through 1 and 2 one more time, you can see them trying to make get that arc there a little bit high there for the 85. Is able to keep it stuck to the track though. And as they're coming again, they start catching on lap traffic here. They get around the 88. He moves out of the way. So next up is going to be the 9 and then the 45 car. So we're going to see if they're able to get around these guys here. Cody Cox is the next in line. And then after Cody is the 45. Looks like Cody just moved way out of the way, so he definitely don't want to play any role in this one. So next up is going to be that 45 of Paul Patterson. Here they come on him. Same thing for him. He's going to drop way out of the way, so they're saying they got a little bit cleaner here. Once they get around this 101 of Mark Rabillas, that's going to be complete clear sailing with these guys. They're coming around here, 4 to go. I believe it's going to be 3 laps to go this time by. Say Brandon Clark staying as close as possible. As I said, that he's going to jump way out of the way as well of the lead pack here. So it's clear sailing now for these top 2. Saying they've actually been able to stretch themselves away from that 3rd place of Chad Wilkes here, who might find himself under pressure from Larry England. We'll have to wait and see here. But right now, though, say here we go. Let's hop back on with the 85 car. Is going to try it. Say we got 2 to go here. Oh, as I said, he catches the wall off the board. That might be all that 14 needed there to have that little bit of extra space. And of course, now that 85 isn't going to drive nearly as well with that damage here. As they're coming around 2 to go. So now all the 14 car wants to see is going to be that white flag. The last thing he's going to want to see is a yellow to bring out a green-white checker restart. So he's hoping that everybody stays clean here to the end. That way he can cross this line here and then, I wouldn't say cruise by any means, but I say he's obviously got about a half-second lead right now, so he feels real comfortable. Takes the white flag, so that's going to put Levi Cox here. 1 lap to go here. Just got to keep it clean, and he's going to be able to pick up the win here at Darlington. He's starting to definitely, you can see, stretch that lead over that 2nd spot. So those top 3 are pretty spread out as they run right now. So as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time. So Levi Cox did a really good job recovering from that, losing the lead there when he got caught up there by that lap traffic. He's going to pull off the win here at Darlington. 14 Levi Cox wins tonight's race. 85 Brandon Clark able to recover after having that earlier incident, come home in 2nd. And Chad Wilkes is going to bring it home in the 3rd position. I say really good job by these guys. That was a really exciting race. I say that was a blast to watch there. It's a really good battle for the win at the very end for these guys. But yeah, I say so. Don't go anywhere. We're going to grab our top 3 finishers here, and we'll go ahead and get some interviews with them. So just give me 1 moment. I'll start getting everybody pulled up here. All right, so we're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher, that number 17 of Chad Wilkes, able to bring it home there in the 3rd spot. Man, that was, I'm going to guess for you as well, that was a hard-fought race it looked like on tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun. Very, very fun racetrack. First time I've ever raced here. I had to buy it this morning, but I practiced on it some this afternoon. But yeah, it's a really fun racetrack. You really have to drive the racetrack just like they say in real life. But the 2 guys that finished 1st and 2nd were, they were, I feel like, probably the fastest guys throughout the whole race. I think on the long run there, that one long run we had, Levi was getting around the lap cars better than I was, but think I may have been as fast as him on the real long run, but on the short runs, those 2 guys were too fast for me. So I'm happy with what I got.
So you seem to be really good about just jumping in the driver's seat. I say with not a lot of practice for some of these cars or tracks. Like we say, I feel like whenever I've interviewed you, it's like, yeah, I just bought this track last night and say able to pull off a podium. And so I say you're a quick learner. I'd say is definitely a way to put it there. So I mean, and you're right though. I mean, I was riding on board with the 1485 towards the end of the race. I mean, they were all but flat foot through 1 and 2 at even a few laps into that run. So yeah, those guys were definitely setting sail. And it's like you said, even with racing the racetrack, I mean, you can only attack so much before this track will come and bite you for sure. But I'll say, so for being your first time racing here at Darlington, I mean, you've obviously raced a lot of different kind of tracks here. I mean, how does this compare to another, let's say, 1 mile, 1.5 mile track for what you've done before in this series?
Well, yeah. Well, first, I mean, I've had like I don't know, like 200 and something official oval races on iRacing, so it's not like I don't ever do ovals. I just don't really do it seriously. I think the guys that I race around, their I ratings are thousands of points higher than mine. And it's just been a really long time since I've done it a lot, and I've never done any league racing, so it's not like I don't, I'm just jumping in and I'm as fast as those guys. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely very different. I mean, it's almost I don't even know how to describe it because 1 and 2, you really can hold it flat, and if you're okay burning your tires, you can hold it flat for pretty deep into a run, as long as you diamond it correctly. But 1 and 2 is just I mean, it gets so or 3 and 4, it just gets so tight so fast. The way you have to, I don't even know it. It's not like driving any other oval I've done because you have to drag the brake so far and sort of let the car hook up and go towards the wall, and then you can get the gas without even diamonding the corner. You just kind of stay up near the wall. It's really weird, but it's yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun because you're always right next to the wall. I mean, I got it a couple times on that last run, just trying to push to keep up with those guys, and I know Brandon in front of me hit it a bunch that last run. I mean, when you're pushing and you're in dirty air too, it just kind of it's hard to see because the track's so thin. It's tough unless you're out front to stay off the wall. So yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean it was my first time racing it, and I enjoyed it for sure. But I definitely like bigger, you know, California and Michigan and Chicagoland and Kansas, like the big wide open tracks more than this. I think that suits me a little bit better.
Well, I'll say you definitely learned quick and did an awesome job. Say, so was there any specific reason on the choice with going with the Valvoline scheme for the throwback? Say maybe Mark Martin fan, or say any story behind that one?
Well, Mark Martin was probably I drive a Ford Mustang on iRacing. I'm not really a Ford guy. I've always been I was a Jeff Gordon fan, so always kind of like Hendrick drivers and Chevy. But since I drive a Ford, I was like, I need a Ford paint scheme, and Mark Martin was probably my favorite Ford driver growing up. I was born in '92, so right when I was a little kid, it's kind of when Mark Martin was really starting to or was really tearing it up and having those battles, Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett and them. So, and I live I literally live 15 minutes from Darlington and about 30 minutes from Rockingham. And so I used to go to all those races all the time. And Mark Martin won a ton of the races that I went to at Darlington and Rockingham. So um, I was kind of like his little good luck charm when I was a little kid going to all those races. So yeah, I mean, and I love the paint scheme. So that was kind of the reason behind it.
Say it's a good-looking car. So you definitely did it proud tonight. So say definitely want to give you an opportunity though before I let you go here. Any thanks and shouts that I could give for your third place finish tonight though?
Yeah, as always, thank you for doing the broadcast. You do a good job. The guys that put on the league do a good job. This is a really hard racetrack, and I honestly thought, I mean, there were some cautions. I honestly thought there'd be more cautions than they were. There was a couple times there where the lap cars did a really good job of getting out of the way really quickly because the pace difference was pretty big between the top, 5, 6 drivers, I guess, and everybody else, and they did a really good job of staying out of the way. So, um, at times we have some caution field races here, but for the most part, I mean, it's way better than I've never done any leagues, but it's way better than just getting into an official lobby or anything like that on iRacing. So it's really cool, and yeah, everybody did a good job tonight of kind of handling a really tough racetrack.
Yeah, like I said, this is definitely one where it's even running by yourself is not easy to keep it off the wall. So it's able to bring it home third though, and really good run. So congrats again, Chad. So I look forward to catching you again in our future races.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, so that was our third place finisher, Chad Looks. And I say we're gonna grab now the 85 here of Brandon Clark, able to bring it home in the second position here in that number 85 machine. So grab him over here. So pulling up our second place finisher, Brandon Clark, in the number 85. So you're able to get the lead there. Say a little bit of lap traffic. Say you made the right choice at the right time. Say we're actually riding on board with you when that all happened. Say and then just 14 was able. It seemed like he was getting you through 3 and 4. Say, was there any part of the track where maybe you felt like you weren't as strong, or where he was just a little bit better?
Definitely 3 and 4. I race with Levi a lot, and Darlington's probably his best track, and that's exactly where he beats me every single time is 3 and 4. I knew it was gonna be a rough one after I got in the lead, but that's all you can really do is go after it.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, and you had to do some recovery as well. So you were in one of those earlier instances where you caught that wall and had to take a green flag pit stop, get that fast repair, and then I think you may have been actually 2 laps down to be able to then recover all the way, get back up into that second position. So, I mean, Darlington never is obviously, but I'll say so tonight was by no means a walk in the park for you to get all the way back up into that second spot.
No, yeah, you were correct. I was 2 laps down. It's just one of those tracks. You just gotta keep going with it, and thankful for all the cautions, even though I'm not a big caution fan, but we'll take it.
So you got them when you needed them, right?
Yeah, yeah, they came when I needed them.
All right, so now I have to ask you about your paint scheme. I say we went through all the paint schemes this evening. I say it looks super familiar, but I can't put my finger on what that paint scheme is from.
It's actually a Matty D paint scheme. Is from maybe last year. I
Yeah,
want
that
to say
sounds
last
right.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now that you're
unfortunately, I didn't have time to grab a hold of a throwback scheme, so I feel bad. I feel like an outcast for doing that, but
That's all right. So you weren't the only one. I was saying it's still a good-looking paint scheme. So I was saying I think Matty D is a pretty popular driver, especially recently. So yeah, I say still again really good run here tonight for you. So before I let you go as well, I want to give you a chance for any thanks and chats like you'd like to give for pulling off that second place finish tonight.
obviously just all my teammates: Larry, Levi, Ryan, Maxwell, Cody, and then my roommate, Austin Stanley.
I say good run tonight. I say able to again make an awesome recovery, get back up to that second spot. Got the lead for a little bit, but like you said, just sounds like this was kind of Levi's wheelhouse there. So I say did all you could, just one spot short, but again, great run tonight though.
Yeah, thank you for putting on the broadcast and everything, and you have a good night, man.
Thank you. You as well. Appreciate it. All right, so that was our second place finisher there, Brandon Clarkson. Now we're going to pull down our race winner in that number 14 machine, the Mountain Dew Code Red of Levi Cox. Let's say grab him here. Pulling our race winner in that number 14 Mountain Dew Code Red Ford Mustang, Levi Cox. So when the 85 got around you there, when you're trying to get around that lap traffic, were you still feeling pretty confident, or what was going through your helmet? I guess you could say after that point.
I was pretty heated, pretty pissed there for a minute because I don't know what Bud was thinking right there, just to be honest with you. A little courteous would have went along in that way right there, and then so I decided to go low about mid corner because I just seen myself plowing the wall down if I went to his outside. And Brandon, he just stayed in it and went to his outside, and somehow nobody wrecked. But after that, I got a good run coming off 4, and Brandon could have fought me harder if he wanted to, getting into 1, and it probably would have gotten real tight then. But he backed off a little bit, and I think he wanted to. I don't know. I don't know if he wanted to. I don't know how to put it in words, but I feel like he probably just wanted to go up there and take it from me instead of that causing it.
So I was talking to him earlier, and he said definitely 3 and 4. He was saying that was definitely where you had the advantage over him. It sounds like you were really running that top side well through that 3 and 4. Say that's definitely the slower corner of this track. So it sounds like that was where you were beating him there, like you mentioned on the exit especially. But I mean, able to start from the pool. I'll say get that $10 iRacing credit or PayPal, I think it is, towards to yourself directly. Say been able to pull it off towards the win here. I say, I mean, you're in the. I say you kind of had control of the race for the most part. I say I think you were kind of out in control. There's a few points where maybe pit strategy threw you back a little bit. But I say was that kind of as long as you stayed towards the front, were you feeling pretty confident about your chances?
Yeah, I tapped the wall a couple times out front, and I felt like as long as no crazy pit strategy happened or as long as I hit the wall one pretty good time, and it actually was slowing me down quite a bit. And luckily we got a caution pretty quick there, so I used both my fast repairs on just small damage, just because I felt like as long as I was up front, I'd be safe up there. So that was a strategy, just stay up there and out of harm's way.
Well, so you definitely did what you needed to do at the end there. So say I want to give you an opportunity here for any thanks and sheds you'd like to give for being able to pull off the win this evening at Darlington. Say so the floor is yours.
First thank Regal and Jack for the $10 pull award. I think we had some other money on the line, and I think it was like 25 or 20 for first, 15 for second, and 10 for third or something like that. So made a little bit of iRacing credit money, and just thank all my teammates, Larry, Maxwell, Brandon, Ryan, Cody. So it was a good night, and thank you for the broadcast.
Yeah, so you did a really good job. So yeah, able to pull off the win and say and get a little bit of money. That's always a good way to spend your evening, right?
Yeah, it's nice whenever we go to different tracks and race different cars, and you have a little bit of extra iRacing credits there and don't have to spend your own money. So
So actually, before I let you go, so the Mountain Dew Code Red paints game, any significance behind that one?
um, not really. I changed it up for a different league. Uh, we just started in a different league, so I want to run a different scheme. But it's kind of a throwback. Code Red was kind of a bigger Pepsi drink back a few years ago, so a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah, so I don't even know if they still make it anymore. So I definitely remember that when I made myself feel a little bit old. It's like I remember that when I was younger, and I was like, oh, I feel old now.
Yeah, we still make it. It's just not nearly as popular anymore.
No, I'll have to make me give them some money with my business later on.
Heck yeah, man.
Levi, congrats again on the win. And again, say $10 richer through Regal Cinemas and sounds like also through Area 51 Racing League. So congrats again. Look forward to catching you in some future races.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you as well. All right, that was our race winner there, Levi Cox, in that number 14 Mountain Dew Code Red Ford Mustang. Saying, well, before we let you all go here, we're going to go through our standings for the race.